We start with overnight news now. A dad in Albuquerque is in jail as we speak, accused of leaving his young kids, including an infant, home alone for 2 hours. A UPS driver saw a 3-year-old boy wandering around a Pennsylvania Indian school about 6:30 last night and called police. Officers figured out where the boy lives. They went to his home and they found the door wide open, they say. And get this, they say they also found a 3-month-old alone inside. About 8:30, the children's father, Joel Hood, came home. He told police the kid's mother tried to kill herself a few days ago. He says he didn't want to take the children to the hospital, so he left them alone. Police arrested Hood. He's now facing 2 counts of abandonment or abuse of a child. He's also locked up without bond. New information now about the case of a former Albuquerque police officer accused of murdering his wife. Levi Chavez's attorney wanted to keep all of this evidence quiet until the trial, which is set for next month, but a judge unsealed it this week. Investigators say Chavez shot and killed Tara with his police gun in their home in Los Lunas back in 2007, then staged it to look like a suicide. They say Tara was about to report Levi for insurance fraud for making it look like his truck got stolen. A number of TV stations, including us at KRQE and newspapers, sued to have the motions unsealed. In them, Chavez's attorney, David Cerna here, asks that any testimony relating to a drop of blood that officers say they found in a toilet at the couple's home not be allowed. He also wants to prevent any testimony related to something Tara reportedly told her cousin about Levi bringing home marijuana from a suspect instead of tagging it into evidence. For the most part, prosecutors did not have any issues with the motions. Well, remember the 2 men accused of breaking out of a jail van in Albuquerque last month? Well, they are finally both back behind bars this morning.
And we just found out that they almost got away with it because of a clerical error. MDC says Brandon Davis and Andreas Macias escaped a jail transport van last month when the driver stopped at UNM Hospital. They found Macias the same day and Davis the next, but they didn't file charges until a month later when we started asking questions. That's when they realized things fell through the cracks. Now, BCSO says the agent handling the case moved to a different unit, and the new agent who took over thought those charges were already filed.
He was under the impression that the paperwork had been taken care of, that everything was closed with the case. Unfortunately, sometimes human error does happen, and that's what happened in this particular situation.
Until last night, Davis was out of jail. He was released last week after reaching a plea deal on a previous charge. Both he and Macias will now face felony charges of escaping custody of a peace officer. The man accused of stabbing 3 people at a church in Albuquerque is due in court today. Lawrence Kapner is expected to enter a plea to charges of attempted murder and 4 counts of aggravated battery with bodily harm. He was indicted on those charges by a grand jury. Police say Kapner stabbed the choir director several times at St. Jude Thaddeus Church last month. Investigators say he also stabbed 2 other men who were trying to stop him. The Albuquerque School Board gave the green light on a small raise for all employees. The unanimous vote was made on Wednesday. The board approved a budget that includes a 1% raise starting next year. Unfortunately, they say there is not enough money in the district to hire the number of teachers needed to fill large class sizes. The district also says some $7 million is still in question. The federal government is still trying to decide if the state will have to pay back funds it did not use appropriately. Well, the drought apparently is taking its toll on a specific exhibit at the Albuquerque Biopark. Growers have pulled the plug on the Rio Grande Heritage Farm. The farm demonstrates the old-time way of farming. The crops go toward the biopark's restaurant and are also used to feed zoo animals. Well, the biopark says there's just isn't enough water out there for something that is considered to be an exhibit.
We're not guaranteed a source of water through the growing season, so we didn't want to put plants in the ground that were just going to wither up and die.
The biopark hopes to grow the crops again next year, but says it will all depend on the amount of rain we actually get. Well, get ready. Campgrounds, parks, lakes, and more will for sure be packed this holiday weekend.
And without a doubt, it's a fun time to get out and enjoy the great outdoors. But we do want to remind you, it is hot and extremely dry out there. It is a very dangerous combination for wildfires. Meteorologist Kristen Van Dyke is live outside in downtown Albuquerque right now. And Kristen, these are really tough times outside in New Mexico.
Sure are, and right now a little bit more moisture in the air compared to where we were earlier this week, but get to the weekend and things are going to be drying out big time, and with it being the holiday weekend, a lot of folks are going to be taking advantage of that and heading outdoors, and firefighters want to make sure that everyone knows the rules with the fire restrictions and that they follow them, as it is going to be a big weekend and any spark could create a huge fire that could get out of control in just a matter of moments. Take a look at this map. Literally every part of New Mexico has some sort of fire restrictions right now. The green is where there is a local burn ban. The yellow are stage 1 restrictions that includes Santa Fe, Gila, and Carson National Forests, meaning no smoking and fires are only allowed in certain areas. The orange, which include the Lincoln and Cibola National Forests, are under stage 2, meaning no smoking or any fires. And the red area here in the central part of the state, including Albuquerque and the southern part where the drought is most severe, is where some parks and areas are completely closed altogether. And starting today, many of the pueblos won't issue any more burn permits and are only allowing fires in developed campgrounds. This includes the Cochiti, Santo Domingo, San Felipe, Santa Ana, Sandia, Zia, Jemez, Isleta, and Acoma pueblos. On top of all this, parts of the Bosque and Bernalillo, Sandoval, Valencia, and Socorro counties are closed because of the drought. It is open in Albuquerque, however. But again, remember, it is going to be a dry weekend, hot, fire danger going up, so please just adhere to the fire restrictions and be very, very careful out there. Matt?
All right, thank you for the heads up, Kristen. She'll have your Memorial Day weekend weather coming up. And one more thing for you to know, Rio Rancho is going to close its Bosque on Monday.